Hey everyone. I don't know if that was like a little bit of a technical hiccup, but welcome everyone on this beautiful, snowy, in some cases, Sunday. This is another episode, another conversation segment, spotlight even, of Sisterhood Spotlight. And today I'm really I had to have her. I been only right to have the amazing woman half of Regal Mindset podcast. She's also a leading strategist, mindset, and visionary to try to help us women to empower us to create freedom beyond the 9 to 5. And I know I need that. So, with that said, we have the amazing Keisha Deshawn. I always do my round of applause, Keisha. I can't hear you, Keisha. We can't hear you. I think the snow really has us, upside down. So she jumped off. She's gonna jump back on, but I'm super excited because I have my pencil and paper to take notes because I want to get the information of that freedom of 9 to 5. So Keisha will be able to help us all with that. And until she gets some things, some kinks worked out, here she is. Let's see. Let's see. Are you there? Oh, thank you for tuning in, Lachey. Thank you so much for tuning in. And we're still working out these kinks. Let's see. So we can see Keisha, but we just cannot hear Keisha.
Is that better? Are you able to hear me now? Is that any better? I can't see or hear anything. Can you hear me? Okay, so they can hear me, but I can't hear or see anybody. Oh, I think she might be froze. Yeah, this this snow is really tripping. All right, so we'll just wait till she gets back online. But while she, fixes her technology issues, I do want to say that it is a pleasure to have been invited or extended the invitation to come on to SwagHer. I was honored again to have the invitation and love to be able to come on and talk to the audience and the followers of this movement and add any value that I'm able to add. So it was a pleasure, and thank you again. Of course, we still got Shay, who's
Thank
always
you.
been
Thank
supportive.
you.
Oh, you can hear me now?
Yes, sorry guys about that. Yes, I can hear you now. So we're about to get rolling. The devil thought he was going to try to stop
Oh, he
this
tried it.
great information. So he's not. With that said, of course, thank you for keeping it rolling, Keisha. I really appreciate you. What
Absolutely.
is your definition of sisterhood?
Sisterhood. Well, so I think of sisterhood in terms of just a community of women who are able to support and help advocate for one another, and push each other up in all spaces, not just professionally, but personally as well. We oftentimes will find ourselves in need of someone else, perhaps externally from our family. So that's what sisterhood means for me.
Yes. You're right. Sometimes we need someone outside of that family
Yeah.
realm to also provide us, resources.
I think your mic is coming in, or at least for me, it's coming in and out. Hopefully, it's not my internet acting real janky.
Too much. Let's see.
You
Can
were
you hear me?
frozen. I can hear you. I can hear you now.
Okay.
Yeah. Hmm.
Okay. So the journey of Keisha Deshawn. So I know with being an educator, going into visual effects and podcasting, and then of course the digital market. Um, Tell us a bit about like the beginning of your journey.
Sure, absolutely. So, for those of you who don't know me, I am actually I was born and raised in New York and went to high school in Birmingham, Alabama. Went to college in at the Art Institute of Atlanta. Graduated in I think 96, 97, one of those years, right after the Olympics. My undergrad degree is in visual communications, and my graduate degree is in graphic design, and then I have a master's in information systems and technology management. So I say all that to say that my journey in visually branding and creating visual art began there. Even in high school, I would say that I always had a love to be creative and explore different kinds of medium with my art, whether it was painting or drawing or whatever that was. What I didn't know is how I could use that skill, that gift, to make money. So I started down that road in visual communications, of course. And then at the time, this is what, 94, 95. They didn't have YouTube to be able to teach yourself these skill sets and to be able to make a living.
Yes.
So that's where it started, and that's kind of how I've been able to make some extra or side money along my journey. But what I also realized, after graduating and getting a bachelor's degree, that it didn't make the income that I saw for myself, right? So I pivoted and went another direction, and found myself in the military. Spent some years there, got out, and then pivoted again. So I go to corporate America, spend some time there, and then I end up back with the what's called Department of War now. So that's where I currently
Okay.
work. But as always, as a tourist, I have a particular vision for my life, for myself and my family, which allows me to be able to create other sides or other sources of income. That being, we have a podcast show, as you mentioned, Regal Mindset podcast show. I'm just half of that host or that business itself, as well as the media company that Regal Mindset sits under. I also
Mm-hmm.
am a creator and CEO of Glenn Hines Digital Capsule, which is where the digital marketing comes into play. So I have social media connections or accounts online that support that as well as some real estate investing and several other things in terms of what creates income for me.
Awesome. I love it.
Yeah, thank
I
you.
love a well established person. That's amazing. You've actually really had a lot of walks of life, and like you said, you pivoted and you were able to always pick yourself up and kind of roll with it and create. So with this digital marketing, I think everybody now know about digital marketing.
Yeah.
I'm learning I'm very like ABC in this digital
Okay.
marketing. So for me, speak very elementary with me.
Sure.
How did it all begin? How could someone or one begin, or what you would recommend for them to do in the beginning of establishing some type of digital marketing knowledge?
Absolutely. So for me, my introduction was I kept seeing people creating these businesses, whether it was people just started to all of a sudden just show up on TikTok and Instagram as what they were called credit repair specialists, right? And then I would, get a trend
Yes.
of real estate marketing, and then it was a trend
Mm-hmm.
of I've created this ebook, and it was all over the place, right? So my introduction
Right.
into digital marketing was I saw a nurse online, and she was showing us this classroom or this school module that she had obtained access to. And I immediately connected that with, okay, that is the vehicle, that is the means in which I am going to utilize
Mm.
my skills and my gifts, right? And learning other skills and high income skills to be able to monetize, meaning create a digital product or many digital products and be able to sell that over and over again multiple times, and then take legs from that to create other digital products, creating an ecosystem for myself around whatever that digital product is. For me, that digital product is I teach women how to work alongside their 9 to 5, creating digital assets so that when they do actually clock out from that 9 to 5, they clock out for good.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. So that ends the 9 to 5.
Yes, that is the goal. Now, listen, I am not here to convince people. If they want to choose to live their 9 to 5, then they're more than welcome to do so. But there is other opportunities out here that will allow us to create additional income so that we can have more freedom, so that we can have more time to spend with our loved ones and travel and do the things that we desire to do that perhaps our 9 to 5 may not totally carry or cover. So there's means and opportunity to be
Correct.
able to do that.
I love how you said what you said, and then you took a sip.
Yeah.
You took a sip. You're like, it's just, you know, okay. Rock, I'm going in and out, but we can keep it going. But if you haven't
Okay.
been like under a rock, Regal Mindset is an amazing podcast. You guys have to check out. It's on Thursdays.
It's on
Am I right?
Fridays. It's on every
Every
other
Thursday,
Friday. Yep.
Fridays, and it's an amazing, informative podcast. You must tune in. But we're going to plug that at the end as well. And hello, Joy, the coach, the doctor. So yeah. Next question is overcoming self doubt. Have you ever had any self doubt? Has any self doubt ever come in your mind?
If I'm being honest, absolutely. The first thing that comes to mind in terms of a period in time which I had self-doubt was exiting the military. I think it was 2007, 2008, right when the market crashed and the economy went to
Mm-hmm.
crap. But I had a lot of self-doubt around, here it is, I made this decision to leave, and at the time I was with someone, but it wasn't, very stable. So I made this decision to leave this stable lifestyle and to go out and bet on myself in terms of making a better career pivot again, as well as making more money. And I did not win necessarily right away. And what I mean by that is I
Yeah.
just went back to school. I took some time to kind of regroup and decide what direction my life needed to go in. And in that season, there were uncertainties, right? And there was just a lot of questions. But I think I needed that in order to grow because, again, I think I had gotten so comfortable and used to the military life. I had spent almost
Yeah.
8 years there, but I wasn't growing professionally in terms of how, again, I saw my life and the things that I saw me being able to accomplish. I just could not do that while I wore a
Yeah.
uniform.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Wow. So that doubt definitely went away, and you bet on
Yes.
yourself.
Yeah.
Um, when betting on yourself, like what? Share with me, as no one else is looking or listening. Share with me what was that conversation like with yourself when you were like you took a breath and you said, "I'm gonna do this."
Yeah, so the conversation initially again was like, okay, now I have this person that I'm also to some degree responsible for. I was in a relationship and I have these responsibilities, and I would
Yeah.
say I'm this head of the household. I don't know if that person would agree. I think so. But anyway, I think that the conversation was for me. I don't want to not just let myself down, but I can't let my partner down, nor, these kids that we're responsible for. And so that
Yeah.
meant that I couldn't give up, right? And that quitting was not an option. I had to literally figure it out, and that meant taking much less of a pay than what I was used to, and being in the military, and that
Yeah.
also meant me having to utilize and rely on my degrees that I could, make that side
Yeah.
income again. And as a graphic designer or a visual communications specialist, I could use that alongside of whatever job I had. Until it wasn't a job
Yeah.
anymore and it was strictly just school. So I just literally had to figure it out. There was no option or any time where it was, I just can't do it, or I'm just going to rely on you. That's not in my DNA.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people said we breaking up.
Yeah.
But
I
we
can
breaking up
barely hear you, but I'm picking up some of it.
really?
Yeah. It's like a robot.
Oh, oh my goodness. Do I sound okay now or?
It still sounds really muffled and really like robotic.
Oh wow. Actually, at the end of my podcast yesterday, doing that as well. Um, can you hear me enough for me to ask you this next question?
Yes. Yes. I should be able to.
All right. So let's talk about intentional impact. What is your intentional? Because SwagHer is a intentional woman with, that keeps it real. So with that, what is your intentional impact in your career?
Oh, I love that question, actually. I would say that my intention or my impact would be again um to help women understand that where we are, whether it's finance or professional, is not where we have to end up. And that the ceiling is based on what we believe our ceiling is. If there is a ceiling, right? We could just decide, and we have the ability to be able to say, I want to create, or I want to build, or I want to run, or I want to own, whatever that is, and we can do it.
That's right. I love that.
Hmm.
And I love the fact that you said if there is a ceiling, because you don't have to have a ceiling.
Absolutely.
It doesn't have to exist. So I love that. And I'm so sorry about this breaking up. So let's look ahead. Let's look ahead for Keisha and Deshawn,
Yeah.
and tell us what that looks like.
Oh, that's even a better question. As I've mentioned on this short interview, how many times I've pivoted, and for me, not that it has to happen, X amount of times, but when it's necessary, of course, it's necessary. Right now, my idea is to, of course, leave my 9 to 5 once my other ventures are able to replace that. Right. So I also want to be mindful that I, again, am responsible for not just, myself, but I have a wife and I have a family, and I have to be mindful of what their needs are as well. So that means, doing the smart thing or the best thing for us. And that is continue down the line of creating and building the businesses that I have, and making sure that I'm investing where it's smart or where it's wise, so that we can live and have the lifestyle that, or at least for myself and my wife. Now these kids, they got to figure that out, but we are here
True,
to support them.
true,
Let me say that.
true.
But we
That
got a
is
vision
true.
of what our life
I
is
love
going to look
that.
like. Yeah. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. Um, with that, let's talk about regal mindset. Let's talk about, like, tell us what will we find when tuning in, the content, the conversation, the definite jewels that you guys drop, because the topics, like just the topics alone, the graphics, the visual graphics alone. When I first came to the scene, because of course I'm connected in a sense, to you guys, and when I started watching you guys, I'm like, dang, they good. They're so polished. They're so like, and of course, a birdie told me that Keisha is the mastermind with everything, with that part of it, and I was just like, oh darn. Tell us what about like the podcast and creation of the podcast and what came about.
Oh, absolutely. That's a wonderful question. So Regal Mindset actually came from myself and my fraternity member, Joy, or Dr. Joy, the coach, actually. She and I,
Yes.
were trying to implement something within our organization to help not just the organization itself, but people in the community, in the LGBTQ community, to think outside the box in terms of when you get those refund checks, if you get a refund check, what you can do with that to
Yes.
help that money grow for the balance of the year. So we were thinking about, the contacts that we have and the people that we could bring on, and we decided to do it, like, I think it was every Thursday or Friday of the month of February when it initially started.
Mhm.
And I want to say we were still in COVID, but I'm not really sure. It's been so long ago. But anyway, we would bring subject matter experts on from the spaces of finances, from the spaces of entrepreneurship, from lending, from investing, like through an entire gamut of that space to help us think about and understand what and how we can let those dollars continue to circulate, not just now for the next couple of months, but for the balance of the year. And then from that, so many
Mm.
people had contacted us and basically say, hey, you guys, you need to continue this. And we weren't sure how we could do that and how we could present that in a way
Yeah.
that would add value. So we figured, or we landed on podcasting. And from that opportunity, God is so good. He has allowed us to not just create that platform, but we have other things that we're working on now that will also add value and bring wealth to the community as well as inside the LGBTQ community. So that's what you'll find under Regal Mindset. We covered the whole wellness of the LGBTQ community in terms of finance, family, as well as mental and physical health. We love having those conversations and allowing the users and the viewers to be able to extend and have
Mhm.
those conversations in their own homes and bring us back their feedback, and
Yeah.
we can just continue that. So I love that.
So just between you and
Yeah.
I know we're live, but it's really not. Who comes up with these topics? The topics are so it's not just catchy, but it's very like it's like meat and potatoes
Right.
behind it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it shared or is it which one? Who?
So it is shared, right? And then we have
Oh,
conversations obviously about which ones would bring the most bang, and which
yes.
are the most important at that time, right? So that's a shared
Mhm.
experience. And again, me and Joy, I feel like are a great combination because a lot of times we're very opposite of one another in terms of our thought processes, but we still end up on
Mhm.
along the same path in a lot of ways. So that's what makes it great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I'm like I said, I sometimes I catch it live, sometimes I don't. But it's always those topics and the visual effects that always draw me to the podcast. Like even before like I became a podcaster, I was like, wow, this is great. The Shay said absolutely a great duo. And
Yeah.
I concur.
Yeah. Thank you.
Absolutely a great duo. It's definitely a great balance. And I love the fact that you guys do not gatekeep. That is a big, big deal. A lot of times, podcasting, they feed you a certain level of information, and you guys just give the game away. You lay it out. And like you said, sometimes, you and Dr. Joy are on two different streets, but you come together on the highway and you bring it back because everyone doesn't think the same,
Yeah.
even. So it's great to tune into a podcast to have the dual thought process. And I love how you beg to differ. It's just like, okay. So yeah, if you guys haven't checked it out, make sure you tune in on Fridays. You said every other Friday.
Yes, every other Friday. This last Friday, or 2 days ago, we had a show. You can always find us on YouTube, and then of course we're all on social media platforms. So absolutely tune in and let us know that you're a SwagHer. You came from this interview. That'd be great. We'd love to see it.
Absolutely. So let's do the legacy and inspiration. I always
Okay.
kind of close this legacy inspiration. Of course, everyone wants to leave a legacy. In between them, we need to be inspired. We, the people, need to be inspired. So please Keisha, give us some good gems, and please, of course, shout out who you like, plug your websites and all that good stuff. Where can we find you to even get you to help us, and all that great stuff?
Absolutely. Okay, so to be able to find me, I've left my email address at the bottom in terms of my signature. So you're more than welcome to email me there, whether it's about digital marketing or if it's about content creation or branding for your podcast or anything graphic related or visual related. You're more than welcome to email me on that platform or on that email address. You can find me on social media as well. I'm on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube as well. I would start with Regal Mindset. We're on Regal Mindset or at the Regal Mindset on YouTube. And we're also Regal Mindset on Facebook as well as Instagram and TikTok. So you can more than welcome, send me DMs on there as well. But in terms of legacy of what I want to leave, what's most important to me is being able to impact not just myself and my immediate family, but people around me in terms of being that example of what can be done, right? And not boxing ourselves into, beliefs and thoughts that we were conditioned to believe, whether growing up through external sources or just from haters, right? Quick
Right.
story for me. I remember when I was in grade school, in middle school, and I was, thinking forward. I always thought forward for some reason. And I'm blessed because of it. But I saw my grandfather go to work every day, and I never saw my grandmother go to work. She never had a job, as far as I'm concerned, or that I'm aware of. And I knew that my grandfather worked at West Point. He retired from West Point, and I thought that that was the route, right? I was hook, line, and sinker and
Mhm.
sold on just find a federal job or a government or state job, sit there 20, 30 years, and you'll be fine. And I did, fall into that, dream for many, many years until I woke up and realized
Yeah.
I do not have to wait till 65 or whatever that number is to be able to enjoy life and the fruits of my labor. So,
Right.
within the last 5 maybe years or so, I've been focusing on exiting or dismantling that dream and creating my own path in terms of how I choose to live life. I should say how myself and my wife choose to live life and the things that we want to do.
Right.
So that's what I want, and that's how I want to inspire those around me.
That's amazing, and that's a
Yeah.
blessing. I love the stories. It's a quick story. I love how our grandparents really kind of create the how we are going to be, how they pretty much
Yeah.
have lived their life, and how we take it from there and think, oh, we're supposed to work until we're 80, like you said, whatever that number is, and they set this in our minds, and we think, get a government job. I love that backstory
Yeah.
because you're changing the narrative of that, and a lot of times you have to be fearless to change that narrative. You can't stay in that bubble, and think that it's gonna go a different way.
Yeah.
But shout out to your grandma that felt like staying at home, and
Yeah.
I
Yeah. She
like
was a
that.
G. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So with that said, I thank you so much, Keisha, for coming on. You are such an amazing spirit. You are
Oh, thank
definitely an
you.
unmatched personality and master of your amazing talents. You have several amazing talents. Of course, this 30 minutes could not capture all of it. However, like she said, please reach out to her if you have any questions, want to discuss, anything you like, because she has a lot of talents. And tune in to her podcast. You guys will not be disappointed. I am Marilyn Monroe. Thank you for coming on to Swag Her Spotlight, Sisterhood Spotlight. Until next time, I love you and God does too.
Thank you so much
Thank you,
again.
Keisha.
You're
All
welcome. Thank
right.